Hello Survivor fans, and welcome back to another edition of Survivor Top 10s. Getting to the $1 million at the end of the game is the main goal for a Survivor player, and in order to get to that goal, players often have to form alliances with other players to progress themselves further in the game. Without further ado, these are our picks for the top 10 strongest alliances in Survivor history. Kicking off our list, we start with what many male Survivor players fear most, the all-powerful Women's Alliance. Throughout Survivor history, the perception that all the women will band together to take out the men has been an overused and now outdated idea that some players fear in-game. But with our number 10 entry, this fear was able to come back to life.
Girls, if we all just keep our head in the game and try to stay, together and just take the boys down, then we'll just be one huge ball of badassness.
Back in Survivor 1 world, the tribes were originally split up, men and women. Despite a swap, when the merge hit, the women, including Sabrina, Kat, Alicia, Christina, Chelsea, and eventual winner Kim Spradlin, were able to join back together and take out all of the men, with Tarzan being the last remaining male.
Right away, I already knew who our five were going to be, and it was done in a matter of seconds.
Who are you? Kat, Saab, and Kim.
In the end, 3 women sat at Final Tribal after fully dominating the endgame. At number 9, we have our first duo alliance on the list. Duo alliances, often called power couples, is another big fear that a lot of Survivor players have within the game. This duo alliance strategy was played to virtual perfection with COPSRUS in Winners at War.
I feel like you wouldn't be where you are without me, and I feel like I wouldn't be where I am without you. Yeah. I know the game that I've played. I know that if you win, you might win the money, you might win the title, but you wouldn't have it without me, and I was not your puppet, and I know that.
After turning on each other in their first season and not getting a chance to play together in their second, Tony and Sarah were finally able to get on the same page and work together in this mega season. These two dominated the game and rarely, if ever, saw their names being written down at Tribal. At Final Four, the two had to square off in the fire-making challenge, with the winner having a very good chance at winning the game. In the end, it was Tony that overcame Sarah and ultimately ran away with the $2 million prize.
Final spot at the Final Tribal Council. What a showdown between competitors.
I know you're so much
COPSRUS.
Headed into our number 8 pick, we are going to talk about the first Power Trio alliance of our list.
You want to be a part of the biggest upset on Survivor history?
Yes, I do.
Okay, stuff this in your pocket, do something with it, hide it.
I might have just stumbled ass backwards into a huge alliance.
The Power Trio really began back in Season 2 with the Tina, Colby, and Keith alliance, and has been utilized to varying success in the seasons that have followed. A prime example of this happened in Survivor TOCANTINS with the Jalapao 3. Taj, JT, and Steven really got into their groove after Taj was able to find the idol and share the information with Steven, who was already working with JT.
I mean, you're solid, right?
Yes, dude.
Oh, yeah, okay, me too.
No doubt. I'm solid with it. And then we go to the merge. Then we start looking towards final 3.
Final 3, that's it.
And then if I win, I'll take you. You win, you take me.
Okay.
We go to final 2. That'd be awesome.
At the merge, they were able to deflect the attention off of themselves for the large majority as the larger Timbera alliance cannibalized each other before eventually the 3 of them sat at the Final 4. In the end, the alliance was successful as JT and Steven both sat at the end, with JT walking away with the win. Another power trio comes in at number 7. As mentioned in our last entry, Tina, Colby, and Keith had the first power trio in the show's history, and in the very next season, the great power trio was born with Lex, Big Tom, and Ethan. These 3 men started on the original Boron tribe before briefly being split up in the first ever tribe swap in the show's history. Despite this, the 3 were able to make it to the merge and basically dictated the votes from the merge until the Final 4.
You know, the handshake's a big deal to him. He's all, I already shook your hand once, I don't need to shake it again. I said, all right.
We're taking a gamble bringing Tom in.
Yes, we are. But, I mean, are you willing at this point to dissolve the original pact?
No, I'm not.
Okay. I'm not either.
As has been a common thread on this list so far, at Final Four, they were forced to turn on each other, but were still able to see the alliance succeed as Ethan pulled out the win over Kim Johnson. For our number 6 pick, we have the original Survivor Alliance, the TAGI 4. This alliance, consisting of Sue, Kelly, Rudy, and eventual winner and ringleader, Richard Hatch, became both public enemies and lovable characters in the eyes of not only their other castmates, but in the eyes of the general public as well.
I'm good to go, survival-wise. People-wise, it'll be a little more challenging, but I've got the $1 million check written already. I mean, I'm the winner. And it's that kind of cocky attitude that makes people really hate your guts. So that's the kind of thing I've really got to keep under wraps.
These 4 were the talk of everyone in the summer of 2000, as many people thought it was unfair that they had made an alliance and wanted to see them fail or turn on each other. In the game, the remaining members of Pagong realized too late that the TAGI 4, plus Dr. Sean and his alphabetical order voting strategy, were sticking together and were picked off one by one. Although the 4 contemplated turning on each other, they still ended up in the Final Four with Hatch and Kelly sitting at the end. This alliance, more than any other, laid the groundwork for a part of the game that is still very prevalent today.
We had an alliance to the end, and I'm fulfilling my obligation.
At number 5, we have another power couple in the form of Dom and Wendell. In previous seasons, the alpha males normally butt heads with each other to establish dominance. In Survivor Ghost Island, 2 of those alpha males decided instead to work together.
My boy, listen to me. I have an idea.
Oh, really?
Okay, and if you want to see it, we can take it. Here's the thing. I'm willing to let that thing go today. All right, let's do this, man.
In one of the most lopsided seasons ever, Dom and Wendell were able to cakewalk to the end of the game without ever turning on each other and burning everyone in the process. Wendell was the silent killer who played the social game, while Dom was the outspoken strategic threat.
Laurel, come grab the urn and make your vote.
I love you guys.
Being the 2 best players of the season led to a first in Survivor history, a tie at Final Tribal, with the 3rd place person, Laurel, casting her vote for Wendell, who she had bonded with more during the game. Although not the highest ranked duo on this list, Dom and Wendell will go down as one of the most important and dominant dynamic duos in Survivor history. Everyone loves a good underdog story, and no alliance more encapsulates this idea than our number 4 pick, the AITU 4 from Survivor Cook Islands. This alliance consisted of the remaining members of the Aitutaki tribe after Penner and Candace decided to mutiny. Sundra, Becky, Ozzy, and Yule were able to get win after win with their backs against the wall for the latter end of the pre-merge. Once the merge hit, they still had a very large disadvantage, but with the dominance of Ozzy in the challenges and Yule having the super idol, they were able to keep the votes off of themselves and picked off everyone else, including mutineers, Candace and Penner.
We like how the story has played so far, the underdogs becoming the champions. But we never did discuss, well, once we get to the Final Four, what will we do? It's about that time now when we have to think individually. There are probably going to be hurt feelings, but that's the game.
All 4 members of a 4-member alliance were able to make the Final Four for the first time in Survivor history, where 3 people sat at Final Tribal Council eventually after a very long and hilarious Final Four fire-making challenge. Yule was given the win because of his control on the game and the social bonds he had made with people. The AITU 4 was able to come back from potential annihilation and ended up becoming, to this day, one of the strongest alliances in the show's history. At number 3, we have the Foa 4. Despite being one of the worst tribes in the show's history, the 4 remaining members of Foa, consisting of the Russell Hance, Jason, Mick, and eventual winner Natalie White, were able to make it to the merge together and survive all the way to the Final 5.
My tribe will believe anything I tell them at any point because they're just stupid. You can call me the puppet master. They can be my little puppets. They'll run when I tell them to run. They'll walk when I tell them to walk. When I'm finished with them, just throw them in the trash.
Russell was able to do Russell things, like finding idols, and Natalie was able to convince the women of Galoo to turn on their de facto leader, Eric Cardona, which started the domino effect for the rest of the post-merge.
It feels really good to be aligned with Russell. I mean, he is the most powerful player in this game. He knows that whatever he votes, I vote too. So really, he's got 2 votes no matter what. Any way he wants to play it. It may, you know, mess me up in the end, but I've made it this far, so, you know, I'm just gonna trust him and we'll go with it. And I'm hoping that I'll be in the final 2.
Despite losing Jason at 5 because of Brett's mini immunity streak, the 3 remaining FOA members were able to sit at the end, with Natalie pulling in 7 of the 9 jury votes to win the season. Our runner-up for this list is the most dominant women's alliance in the show's history, the Black Widow Brigade.
This man is in play. It's like the Black Widow Brigade. All the girls spinning the guys around as much as we can till they don't know which way's up, and then we're devouring them, one at a time.
This group, consisting of Alexis, Natalie, Amanda, Suri, and Parvati, were a mixture of the fans and favorites tribes from Survivor Micronesia. Going down their list of accomplishments is basically commonplace in the Survivor community, but now they include blindsiding Ozzy with an idol in his pocket, convincing Jason not to play his idol, Amanda playing an idol to send Alexis home, and yes, convincing Eric to give away his immunity necklace and immediately sending him home.
You officially go down as the dumbest survivor ever.
Eric, the tribe has spoken.
The final 4 were the remaining members of the Alliance, and Parvati was able to beat Amanda at the end to bring home the win for the greatest multi-person alliance in the show's history. Coming in at a close number 1 is the ultimate power couple in the show's history, Boston, Rob, and Amber.
So what do you think? You want to make an alliance? Cover our own asses?
I don't know if I can take you seriously or not.
I'm being 100% serious. Just I can't make it obvious at all. Like, I'm carrying logs with you right now. It's gotta end.
Right.
All right?
All right.
Do you want to?
Yeah.
Amber and I have an alliance for obvious reasons. She's beautiful, obviously. Any idiot can see that.
These 2 made a very early alliance on Survivor All-Stars as members of the Chapera tribe. Although everyone noticed how close they were never really in any danger throughout the course of the season. Rob took care of the strategic aspects, while Amber made the social bonds.
Make no mistake, I'm here to play Survivor. At the end of this, hopefully Amber and I can be having some fun together, and we'll be spending my $1 million. Worst case scenario, we'll be spending hers.
The 2 were able to moonwalk to the final 2, where they sat at one of the most uncomfortable final tribal councils of all time, with Amber eventually taking the money. In the end, the winner did not matter, as Rob proposed to Amber and the 2 eventually married, therefore cementing their place as not only the strongest alliance of all time, but the longest lasting.
We came out here to show our kids. You try, you don't quit, you don't give up, and you do your best. And their mother's the toughest woman in this world. She stayed out there that whole time, made rice for everybody every single day, never complained. This is a woman that's a champion.
And that concludes our picks for the top 10 strongest alliances in Survivor history. Tune in for future editions of Survivor Top 10 here on Reality Pop, and be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss newly released content, and leave a comment with what you think is Survivor's strongest alliance in history. And thank you for watching Reality Pop, your new hub for all things reality. Thanks so much for watching Reality Pop, your new hub for all things reality. If you're enjoying this content, please let us know by giving this video a like, leaving a comment down below, and, of course, subscribing to the channel so you don't miss any videos. And be sure to hit that notification bell along the way. Thanks!